Oh, hey. On today's show, we teach you how your friends, your family, your coworkers, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wives, your neighbors are holding you back from living the fit life. And I have a special guest on the show today, the state's best high school teacher. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fit Life, Episode 3. We're out here in Cedarburg, Wisconsin today. I'm your host, Brett Summers, and I also have a special guest today. His name is...
My name is Chris Casey. I actually teach in Cedarburg, ran into him getting some Starbucks, and here I am roped into this whole rigmarole.
Yeah, so he literally just ran into us a few minutes ago, and I was hoping that I could have a guest on today's show because we're covering a very important topic, and I would like to get the insight from someone else other than myself, and I think you guys have seen enough of me already and maybe are sick of me. So here we go. We got Chris today as our guest. Our topic today is how your friends, family, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, even coaches, teammates can be holding you back from living the fit life and getting in the best shape possibly. Chris, have you ever had anyone in your life who has held you back, or that their association or the environment that you were in or some of the things they might have been doing has held you back from making a lifestyle change in a healthier direction?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's really easy to get roped into something like that, especially when you just don't have the tools and the know-how to take care of yourself. And so I think really important thing is to just create some boundaries for yourself.
Right.
Create some absolutes.
So what were some of the things that when you're around those other people, that they're holding back your lifestyle from going into the healthy nutrition or exercising? Maybe they weren't exercising at all.
I think it's just like the constant kind of barrage of, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then it's, for me, it's sometimes it's like, well, we can do that stuff in moderation. It's just, let's create some boundaries and let me have my time to get fit and have my time where I'm eating my proper meals and having proper nutrition, proper sleep and everything like that. So
I like that. Very, very good insight from Chris over here. So it sounds like he suffered the same fate that many of you out there might have had, which is being around people. It might be a parent, it might be a sibling, it might be a best friend who maybe they're not eating healthy, maybe they're not exercising, maybe they're not going on a freaking walk around the block every day. Isn't it crazy how some people won't even just eat an apple a day or take a walk around the block?
Yeah, it's crazy how I think a lot of people just kind of live their lives in this kind of void. They're just kind of going through the motions and they don't even stop to think what sorts of things might be actually healthy for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the reason we're passing the mic back and forth is because one of our mics blew out. We will be upgrading our audio system later on, but we wanted to make sure you guys get this to start your week off. It's Monday. Yeah. It's an important day of the week.
Show must go on. Show must go on.
The show must go on. And I was thinking about it. It was just one of those things I was thinking about. What really holds people back from getting in shape? Because I'm just trying to put information out there that would help some of you guys get over the edge. Like Chris, for instance, he wasn't exercising, he wasn't training, and maybe he wasn't in the happiest place in life when he first came to Topline, but he had to find us. And instead, I'm trying to put this information out there so you guys can get to know who we are in advance before you come in, so you can end up being a successful member like Chris, who is now training every day. He's squatting, he's benching. He did my private strength training workshop, and now he's strength training and getting stronger. And today, I don't know, I'll let him break down his results, but he just came back from the doctor and had a pretty important day.
Yeah, it was just pure coincidence that I show up, but I had a health screening for my insurance premiums at the high school where I work, and
What high school is that?
Cedarburg High School.
And they're ranked what in the state?
Number one in the state.
Oh, okay. No big deal.
Yeah, no big
but
deal.
He is a master professor.
A little humble brag there.
Yeah.
But I kept my metrics from last year when I was kind of feeling down about my health, not really sure how to progress, what to do. And I compared them side by side back in my classroom, and I'm like, the results are just incredible. All the bad numbers down, all the good numbers up. I think I've put on like in the last couple of months like 10 pounds of muscle. I was shocked to see this.
That's a lot of muscle.
I was like expecting to kind of be hovering maybe a few pounds over, but I've increased quite a bit, so I was pretty happy with that. So overall, mentally more healthy, physically more healthy, everything's just kind of at the top.
Yeah, and you know what one of the big changes that Chris made is he changed his inner circle. Every day he was with us for probably about 2 hours, to be honest. About 2 hours. Maybe that's a little bit overboard, but he was in. He was all in. He was trying to learn. So all 2 hours weren't maybe training the whole time, but it was learning and a little break and then getting back after it. But he got around people who were not only encouraging him to eat healthy, to train hard, to show up consistently, but he was around other like-minded people who were also trying to make that change. And unfortunately, a lot of times when you come home at 4 or 5 o'clock at night and you've got a husband or you've got a wife or you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or kids or parents or whoever it is, and they're ready to sit down on the couch. They're ready to break open a bag of potato chips, some nachos, some Doritos.
Making me hungry.
A nice fast food meal.
I've been fasting for 12 hours after that test.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll be good.
You'll be all right. But I think a lot of times when you come home and that's the environment that you're around, especially in Wisconsin when at 4 o'clock, it's pitch black outside. Yeah. It's dark. It's cold. The treats are on the table. The fridge is calling your name, and you want to just retreat. Yeah. You want to go into full retreat. Have you ever been in that situation where you've come home or you've had roommates or anything like that where you're just like, I'm not going to work out?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely part of my past where I would just go home, pop open the chips. And I think that's an important note to draw, is that sometimes it's not the circle around you. Sometimes it's just you, right? Like, my friends were never like, hey, you should go home and eat a bag of potato chips after work.
Get a nice truck driving by. Yeah. It's one of those things you got to deal with when you're shooting live.
Yeah, but like I was saying, sometimes it's not necessarily the people around you that are influencing you. It's just I think after spending the day out, I'm working, teaching kids, that's the last thing I want to do is go train, go work out. So sometimes it's not actively people being bad influences on you or telling you, hey, you shouldn't work out, you shouldn't be healthy. It's just more passive of, this is the lifestyle. So
yeah, sometimes the worst influence you can actually have around you is yourself.
Yeah, because I don't think my group friends, they don't, they're not like, hey, be unhealthy. They're very supportive, and I think there's a very distinct line to draw of who is actually holding you back. Yeah. Is it you or is it your friends? And so I think sometimes it's easy to make the excuse of my friend group likes to go out and
absolutely.
So what? You can still make time for yourself.
Yeah. See, that's great because it kind of takes out the excuse clause. Yeah. So while it always ends up boiling down to the decisions you personally make. Yeah. Now, I will admit, though, being around a friend who wants to go out and drink and wants to party and who wants to drug and who wants to do the whole nine, if that's who you're associating yourself with, you won't even be thinking about going in the gym to fill the sleeves and to get a pump and to get your chest to look like the Austrian oak over here. You won't even be thinking about it because you're... Yeah. Are you Austrian?
I am Austrian.
He is Austrian. Yeah. So you won't even be thinking about taking those actions. So my thing that I would suggest anybody do out there is to audit your relationships and audit or kind of do an autopsy on who you're spending time with and if they're bringing out the best in you. So just take out a piece of paper, draw a circle, put your name in the middle, and then draw the people around that circle. Draw the names of the people that are around you, and if they're good, maybe draw them going up. And if they're a bad influence, draw them going down. And you might have to cut them out. Sometimes you got to be the lone wolf and kind of walk on your own. Now, just like Chris, when he came in the gym, unfortunately, let's tell the story of the first day that you came into Top Line.
Oh, yeah.
The first day this guy comes into Top Line is a little scary on his end. Yeah, not so much for me, but maybe for him.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I was just in a rotten place. I just had a bad breakup the year before and just wasn't getting over it. I had a really supportive group of friends, still have the same group, so definitely not trying to throw them under the bus in this episode. I just needed a little something extra.
Throw one of them under the bus.
No, they're great.
Oh, they're good?
They're great. Yeah, okay. It wasn't the friends. It was that past relationship that kept haunting me.
Okay.
And so I was in therapy just trying to work some stuff out. Oh, got to get a little closer. Rookie. But yeah, so I was just needing a little more. I kept saying to my therapist, I'm better, but there's something I'm just not hitting. There's something that's just, I'm not reaching my full potential here. And so I was like, I'm thinking about joining some gyms. I've put on a little weight. I'm not comfortable with that. And so he was like, well, what's the worst that could happen? Like, why don't you just walk in and just, if you don't like it, just, who cares? You walked in. And so I did, and then, I met Brett, and then...
Yeah, but tell him what you walked in on when you first walked in.
Oh, I walked in on his, like,
It's the afternoon.
Crazy training session. I think he's, like, by himself. All the athletes are out playing football. This is in the fall.
Off.
He's just got metal blaring. I don't know if you were shirtless at the time. You probably were.
Shirtless.
And I'm just like, what the hell is this place? I'm just like, what am I getting myself into?
Yeah. How did you come back after seeing that?
I just told myself, like, well, I mean, this seems legit. There's not the. It just seemed different than like your typical Planet Fitness style gym where they're just trying to sell, and it's like, okay, I did the trial, and then there was no pressure after that.
Well, we like selling.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like
gotta keep the lights on.
But we like to be transparent with our sales.
Right. It was like you said in I think one of your other podcasts where the guy at the Anytime or the Snap was like, oh, we don't want to give you this client sheet because, like, we don't want people to remember that they have gym memberships. Like, terrible business model for anyone who's actually looking to get in shape, which I was. So I remember you said to me, like, not too many machines here. Your body's the machine. I'm like, I like that. I like that.
Oh, there you go, Britt. There's one of your pieces.
The onus is on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, not on some machine. So.
I like that. So you heard it here first. Chris wanted to make a change, and what happened is, what's funny is you didn't come in with like 4 or 5 friends though. As supportive as they are, you came in on your own.
Yeah, like my friends like doing their own kind of workouts, so this was kind of like, I keep trying to rope them in. They're like, no, I got my own thing. I got yoga, I got this, I got that. So I came in totally on my own, and I've met a lot of people out of it. So
Yeah, and see, that's the thing I like, because now I'm not a butcher. See, a butcher's always going to tell you what's for dinner. What's for dinner if you go to the butcher?
Sloppy Joes.
Meat. Yeah, meat is always for dinner when you go to the butcher. They're not going to tell you to eat a salad. They're not going to tell you to eat a bunch of nice veggies, some seeds, some avocado. When you go to the butcher tells you the only thing for dinner is meat. Now, I run a strength and conditioning gym. Turf, sleds, bikes, barbells, plates, some old school style lifting, some west side style lifting. But that doesn't mean that yoga, mobility, pure bar, some of those types. Now, I don't necessarily know any of those things. Cycling, some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with those things, but you're moving.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you see this video, and you look at some of our videos and you see the boot camp, which is, good, fun, high intensity interval training, and then you see some of the athlete training, which is strength training and speed training out on the fields, and maybe that's not for you, don't let that hold you back from taking advantage of other opportunities that there are out there to exercise. Even some of the big, franchise style gyms, if you can go in there and exercise and get in shape, we support you even if you're not paying us money. That's what this video is all about.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about this, like, it's kind of like Newton's law, body in motion tends to stay in motion. You heard that from the teacher. Physics is not my game, I will say that. But yeah, if you're just getting up and moving around, 100% better than doing nothing, even if that movement is subpar to what you did.
Right, yeah. We got a phone call coming through on the podcast.
Lori?
I think they're calling for Lori again. I don't think we're going to answer that one. You can't stop business just because you're shooting a show. But anyways, so again, anybody who's out there, all we want to do on the Fit Life is teach you things that might be holding you back or things that you can do to try and get healthier mentally and physically. Now, notice I didn't say get thin. Notice I didn't say get to a certain weight, because that's not what it's about. What it's about is living a healthy lifestyle, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, starting to move. Like Chris said, an object in motion stays in motion. So not sitting still all the time, making sure you get 60 to 90 minutes of movement every single day so that you can take care of your body. Because if you don't take care of your body, it won't take care of you. And we want everybody who watches this show to feel encouraged. We want them to feel like they're motivated, and we want them to know, like this show's topic, that even if you're surrounded by people who are maybe not living such a healthy lifestyle, maybe they're hemming and hawing about being able to go to the gym and they're not getting after it, they're not trying to get out there and get after it, You have a place with a bunch of people, members, staff like Britt right now who can barely see in the camera because it's so sunny. You have staff, you have people like me, yeah, coaches. Yeah, why don't you have those on, man? You gotta throw those on.
They gotta see my eyes.
Okay, I like that.
Pop. Yeah,
I like that.
they pop.
You have a place where you guys can go to get in shape, to get healthy, and to start living a healthier lifestyle. We have things like $29 challenge. It's not there to just rope you in and then sign you up. If you don't want to sign up at the end of it, that's no big deal. But for $29, you can come in there and try the gym out, get an experience, and get to know people, and just get moving.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who spend $29 on brunch. Like, I mean, if you're gonna spend $29 on brunch, like,
Speaking of brunch, where would you brunch if you only had 2 places in Milwaukee to brunch?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I'm a sucker for Harry's, but I also like Cafe at the Plaza.
Cafe at the Plaza?
Yeah.
Where's Harry's?
Harry's is on Brady Street.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's your jam there?
At Harry's.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many good things, but their burger with the fried egg on it is top notch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I love a burger with a fried egg on top. Bacon on there too?
Of course.
Okay.
Avocado if you want it too.
Okay, so here's the beauty of this. We're talking about brunch right now, and I'm very excited about that because for the last 19 days, I have been following my own challenge and dieting, so to speak, to try and get into shape so that I can relate to my customers a little bit better. So hearing about brunch, burgers with eggs on top sounds pretty darn good, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, absolutely, to die for. But that's the thing. If you got $29 to spend on a burger or whatever, some drinks at the bar, like you got $29. Like that's not an excuse to say, "Oh, I can't afford it." Like $29, like get your butt in here
For 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, if you're brunching, I mean that's one meal, so you might as well fork over that money.
Yeah, make the investment into yourself, guys. Whether you do it here or do it somewhere else, that doesn't matter to me. When you spend money on something, you value it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right, and oftentimes people are spending money on things they don't truly value.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you spend money on your membership.
Oh.
Tell them the cost of your strength training program, and because it's going to sound high to a lot of people, but then tell them the benefit of it.
Yeah, so it was $400, one session, a 2-hour session, but
actually we went over 2 because remember I had to. Right. It was supposed to be 2, but I can't stop a session if I don't add the value based on time. That's rookie stuff.
Oh, okay. My bad.
We did go over.
We did go over. All right. But just getting the education, getting the kind of the know-how,
and had you strength trained up to that point in your life, hard?
Not like I had been. So I did like maybe a year in high school, and then I kind of dropped off after that, and then I was kind of doing my own go by the
fly by the seat of his pants.
Yeah, fly by the seat of my pants program for the last 6 months, and was I making progress? Yes, just because it's
rookie gains,
newbie gains, like more stimulus than my body was used to. Right. But then I get this program, and I come in just with new vision, new drive. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, how much of it I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to be eating. It's made the equation a lot clearer. There's no guesswork for me. I just go in, get it done.
So when you look at the $400 investment, did you actually now get more than you paid for?
I mean, I think just having seen my health screening and seeing 10 pounds of muscle, I mean, I would definitely say so. And, I keep...
That's a lot of muscle.
Yeah, and I keep, not breaking PRs quite yet, but I'm continuously impressing myself with what I'm able to do strength-wise.
I think we should have done this show shirtless.
I don't know if I want to be in the...
They're not ready for the chest yet. The chest is on a whole nother level of chest. Look at it. Yeah. Look at the chest.
I don't want to be in downtown Cedarburg where I teach, shirtless.
Yeah, the kids might see you. But ladies and gentlemen out there, get that sheet of paper that we talked about earlier in the show. Get that sheet of paper with all your closest people, your friends. And you want to know what's funny is you still love those people. You still care about those people. They're great people. But if they're discouraging, if they got cheat meals every day, if they've got candies and cakes and chocolate, you will never be able to start living the healthy lifestyle, or it will be really, really, really tremendously hard. It's kind of like a druggie. You can't kick the druggers if you're hanging around drug dealers and you're hanging around the scene all the time. So you need to try and separate yourself from that. And if they won't respect you and do that, you might have to ditch them for a little while, still love them, still giving them the utmost respect, still loving them. But at the same time, you have to separate yourself. I had to do that in business. I had to separate myself from my friends who are smoking and drinking and, the whole, oh, we only smoke when we drink, but they drank every weekend. Some of those guys are still doing it to this day. I mean, that's like 14, 15 years of smoking
if you're
and
spending
drinking.
that money on cigarettes,
dang.
Cigarettes alone. Dang, yeah, I mean, like, that's a lot of money. So you think $400 for some strength training, like, the way I look at it is it's an insurance policy on myself. Like, maybe I'm putting a little more up front right now, but, when I'm 50, when I'm 60,
it pays off.
Oh, easily. I'm not, having to pay those medical costs that I might have to, or those prescription prices. Right. Even with,
Or you mentioned that you were at a therapist when you first started. Were you able to cut that down at all when you started living the fit life?
Oh yeah. And like the thing is, I have pretty good benefits with my school, but even that was costing me, $100 a month or so. And so now it's like, yeah, I go once every 4 months just to check in.
Once every 4 months from going a couple of times a week. That's a considerable decrease. But I think the most important thing to note in that is your mindset. When you started to exercise, because it is a keystone habit, it affects all the other areas of your life. So it can affect your relationships, it can affect your confidence, it can affect your finances. You can earn more money, or you can show up better at work and perform better, which may result in bonuses or promotions or other things like that. So living the fit life is one of those. This is an important show. This is just an important service that we offer at Top Line, and anybody else who offers that, who genuinely cares about you. I want you guys to know that there are options like ours out there, or places like Commotion downtown Milwaukee. My buddy owns that gym down there, Nate Ziegler. There are plenty of places where you can go and get fit and get healthy and get in shape. And just make sure that people genuinely care about you. They can care about their members, like my buddy Chris here, and they'll build a relationship with you and help you through that journey. But I'm glad we got a. Now, what's your take on working with a coach that's always like giving you the raspberries and being hard on you, in a loving way, but also being hard, being like calling you rookie and stuff?
I think that's a really important piece. I think sometimes you need like somebody to kind of bust your balls a little bit, and I think that's the person cares, because they're always trying to put you one step further, or one step forward, one step further. I do that with my students. If I just let my students off the hook, they might like me, but they're not going to see any growth. So super important to have somebody around who's always kind of making sure that you're putting in the work, putting in the time, so that you get the results that you want to.
I love it. Guys, hey, it's Monday. It is August, 19th? It's August 19th. Or it doesn't matter when you're watching the show. If you're listening to this on a podcast 10 months from now or 10 years from now, can you imagine me coaching like 10 or 20 years from now? Like in a walker? I'm hoping to have a wheelchair and just have Diz pushing me around. Like fully capable of actually walking, but just having Diz push me around nonetheless.
I would hope not. I mean, you should know about strength and mobility. Hopefully you'll stay away from the walker.
Yeah. But today is Monday. It is a fresh day to start your week. Don't mind me. I'm a little out there. It's a fresh day. It is a fresh week. I'm hoping that Britt has this video banged out by this afternoon. It's up online to get you guys fired up. A lot of good stuff to take away from this. We want to have you as a guest on our show if you're living the fit life, or if you've had a story about getting into the healthy lifestyle, strength training, weight loss, athletics, if you're older and it brought back your ability to do just normal daily functions. We'd love to interview you and have you as a guest on the show. I'm really privileged to have Chris Casey with me here. I not only admire his results, but I admire his ability to overcome being behind the eight ball a little bit mentally and overcoming that, because as I can see now doing this challenge that I'm doing, and I'm reminded again that living the fit life is not always easy, and it requires tremendous discipline, it requires tremendous commitment, but it also requires being surrounded by great people like the Britster and Chris here, the Austrian Oak, who can help guide you on your path. So I don't have too much else to offer. Again, toplinegym.com. Go on toplinegym.com. If you saw this and you're like, man, these guys might actually give a crap about me to help me get in shape. I actually had somebody say the other day, I didn't know at first if you actually cared about me. But then I found out they actually cared about me, and that's why I keep coming back. So, client shout-outs, Marielle. just getting after it. She was really dialed in the beginning of the year, had a car accident. Now she's getting back after it. I'm happy to see that. Chris Sams had a little lull. He was crushing it early in the year. Guys just committing, getting back into it, getting dialed in after he hit a Gillies, or what was it, Millie's sausage at State Fair the other day. He was getting after it. What's your favorite State Fair treat if you went?
Oh, it's got to be the cream puff.
The cream puff. You are a cream puff.
Oh,
That's a good
whatever.
nickname for this guy.
Oh, no.
But anyways, just make sure you guys are banging out. Get into Top Line Gym. It's $29. Get in here for a challenge. If you join for $29, I'm going to buy you a special gift this week if you come in and join. So join this week, and then I'll take the $29 and I'll buy you something in return. How about that? Does that sound like a good deal?
Sounds like a better deal. I didn't get anything for free.
You ain't. Now you got results. That's what you're going to get. But hey, join us. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribing. Actually, I'll do that on the outro of this video, but that's all I got.
Smash that like button.
Yes, pound that thing. Yank that thing. So I don't know if I got anything else. I'm going to have you close this out.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of in conclusion, talking about your friends, your family members.
What class do you teach?
I teach Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
In conclusion, sounds like a professor.
Oh, sorry.
No, I like it.
No.
I like it.
But yeah, to wrap things up, is that better?
No, yeah, okay.
All right.
I felt like I was in school for a minute. I was getting sick to my stomach just thinking about
Oh
it.
God. Yeah, set boundaries. Like if you're unsure about the people in your circle, set boundaries, and the way people react to those boundaries is gonna show if they're actually on your side in your circle or not. The people who are be like, oh, I don't respect your boundaries. Those are the people who are not going to be with you and not going to be on your side. So, yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, but
is heavy.
it's good information.
Cut
So,
them loose?
you know,
With
if
great love and respect.
if it comes to that, absolutely. You know, got to be assertive.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we lost the wind muff. It has been one heck of a podcast show here. We got cars driving by. We got all sorts of ladies walking up and down the street gawking at this guy as if I'm not even here.
Yeah,
I gotta go. I think I gotta start going back up, start enjoying some of these cheat meals so I can get the gains like this guy. We'll see you guys soon. Comment, subscribe, and share the old podcast with as many people as you can. And if you think it sucks, let us know. But make sure you've got a real profile picture, not an avatar of some freaking pit bull or a Rottweiler or something like that. Make sure you're a real person so we can show you some respect, because I know you turkeys out there who like to talk trash typically don't even have the gall to show your face. Yeah, no doubt. We'll see you guys soon.